And it's not about him, just because him or her, they're not related to you, that does not mean that you totally neglect that person. Rather, the Prophet ﷺ emphasized about doing good to your own brother and looking after him, that he said that al-mu'minu lil-mu'mini kal-bunyan, that the believer towards another believer, he's like a building. They're like a building for one another. يَشُدُّ بَعْضُهُ بَعْضًا. The building, it strengthens and supports one another. So you see what a beautiful example the Prophet ﷺ is giving, that just like a building, if the bricks are not there, the stones are not there, it's not going to support one another. It's going to collapse. The roof and the doors, everything, they're tied to something else. Just like a building, a Muslim community, they have to be there supporting one another. They have to be there for one another. Otherwise, that's also going to collapse. If we have such a mentality that, oh, I have nothing to do with this person. He's not my family. He's not my brother. He's not my biological brother, biological sister. I have nothing to do with that person. If a person has that type of mentality, then that Muslim community will not progress. So the Prophet ﷺ, even to further illustrate to us and emphasize, وَشَبَّكَ بَيْنَ أَصَابِعِهِ, he went like this to show how close Muslims are to one another in the Muslim brotherhood. And Allah tells us in Surah Al-Hijr, وَاخْفِضْ جَنَاحَكَ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ, lower your wing to the believers, meaning humble yourselves towards the believers. This is how that's going to come. That brotherhood is going to be created through humbling ourselves towards one another, being compassionate towards one another. Rasulullah ﷺ mentioned in another hadith similar meaning, that he said, مَثَلُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ فِي تَوَادِّهِمْ وَتَرَاحُمِهِمْ وَتَعَاطُفِهِمْ مَثَلُ الْجَسَدِ. The Prophet ﷺ said the example of the believers. And look, the Prophet ﷺ, in many hadith you see, he will give so many examples to help us understand these things. He said the example of the believers is like one body. And the body is such, the Prophet ﷺ said that they're like one body in terms of their love for one another, the compassion and their mercy. He said that إِذَا اشْتَكَى مِنْهُ عُضْوٌ تَدَاعَ لَهُ سَائِرُ الْجَسَدِ بِالسَّهْرِ وَالْحُمَّةِ. That when one part of the body, it feels some type of pain. When it feels any type of pain, the whole body starts calling one another and asking one another to be partner in that pain. In other words, the Prophet ﷺ is saying that the whole body feels that restlessness and that uneasiness. So what's the meaning that this sahar? The whole body calls each other to be wakeful in the nighttime, because when you're feeling pain, what happens? You can't sleep in the nighttime. And the Prophet ﷺ said the body calls each other, the body parts call one another towards fever, having a fever. Because when you lose your sleep, what's going to happen? You're going to end up having a fever. In short, a person, when a body, just how one part of the body feels pain, the whole body is going to become partner in that pain. Likewise, when you see your Muslim brother, you see your Muslim sister suffering, then you have to also feel that pain. This brotherhood of Islam is something really, really deep, where it doesn't have the barrier and hindrance of language or skin color or background. This is the beauty of our religion, that everyone from different backgrounds, despite where you come from, you're still a brother to one another. This is what's bringing all people towards Islam. People cannot understand how come people from different backgrounds, they're standing next to each other, they're so nice to one another. Non-Muslims cannot understand this concept. This is what is bringing them towards this religion. So the Prophet ﷺ, he gives more and more examples that's how we should be merciful towards one another and have love for one another. And I'll end with this final hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Muslimu Akhul Muslim. The Muslim is the brother of a Muslim. La yadhlimuhu. He does not cause any wrong to him. He does not oppress his brother. Wala yuslimuhu. He does not submit him, surrender him, either to some enemy or submit him even to following his own desires and his own nafs, or surrendering him to shaitan. When you see, for example, in another hadith, in explanation to this, the Prophet ﷺ said, help your brother whether he is a zalim or a mazlum, whether he is oppressor or he is being oppressed. So the Sahabi, he asked, how we understand helping our brother out if he is oppressed, but how do we help that person out when he is an oppressor? The Prophet ﷺ said that you stop him from his oppression, that is helping him out. So you see someone oppressing themselves, you do not surrender him to that oppression. How can a person oppress? He can either oppress other people, or he can oppress his own self by committing sins. You should stop that person. If you know he's about to do something wrong, hold him back. No, don't do this. This is bad. So this is لا يسلمه. And then the Prophet ﷺ goes on in this hadith that من كان في حاجة أخيه كان الله في حاجته. Whosoever fulfills the need of his brother, Allah Ta'ala will fulfill his need. Woman, the Prophet ﷺ also said that وَمَنْ سَتَرَ أخاه ستره الله يوم القيامة أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Whoever hides the deficiencies of his brother, Allah Ta'ala will hide the deficiency of him. So what does this mean? Hiding deficiency. You see some Muslim doing something what he's not supposed to be doing. Either ma'adallah, he's at a bar or a club, or he's committing something which is illegal in Islam. So this does not mean that we share it and we publicize it. And unfortunately now we have all these tools like social media. It's very easy to publicize a person's sin. We take a picture and then we put it on Facebook. This is totally inappropriate. If you want Allah Ta'ala to hide your sins and hide your deficiencies, then hide your brother's sins. Never, if you see something, always hide it. Don't share with other people. Unfortunately, we have this bad habit. Though I saw so-and-so doing X, Y, and Z. I saw so-and-so at X, Y, and Z place. And then we publicize that person, says we should avoid doing this. And the Prophet ﷺ said, before this statement, he actually said in this very hadith, that وَمَنْ فَرَّجَ عَنْ أَخِيهِ كُرْبَةً فَرَّجَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ بِهَا كُرْبَةً مِنْ كُرَبِ يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. Whoever removes one difficulty from his brother, let's all do this inshallah, let's implement this hadith, bring it into our life. If you remove one difficulty from your brother, whether financial, whether it's just he has emotional problems, he has some health issues, you just remove some problem from him, Allah Ta'ala will remove a problem and difficulty from you from the difficulties of the Day of Judgment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the tawfiq to be good brothers and good sisters. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.